Time to get funked up, baby, in TP Corleone's Funk Zone. Funky music, entertainment, media, and more. But all things are funky. Can you dig it now?
What's up, party people? What it do? Baby Bubba to the boogie, the bang, bang. TP Corleone in the zone. Once again, the funk zone. Thank you for tuning into another hot episode, you dig. Now, today, before we get into our great, very esteemed guest, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel because there are always great guests coming up. And like I always say, everybody on my show, I like, you know what I'm saying? That's what is so what's beautiful about doing your own show. I'm not on the schedule. I just have to have anybody on the show just to fill a slot. If you're on my show, I dig you dig. Like I dig this great guest right here, whom I call the voice of house music, the legendary voice of house music, Mr. Robert Owens. How's it going, Robert?
Thank you, sir. I'm grateful for you having me here on your show.
Yes. Well, thank you for being grateful. I'm grateful for you being grateful. We doing it, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So as I mentioned, for those who aren't in the know, you are one of the most legendary figures in house music, one of the most legendary voices in house music. So if you didn't know, now you know. But for those who are aware of that, I'm gonna bring up something about you that I just recently, I didn't recently find out about it, but I kind of forgot about it until I got more into your bio. Before you were this known singer on these known classics, you were also a DJ. Am I correct?
Yes, I actually started DJing. It was going far back as a youngster, like about, you could say, first DJ gigs was with family reunions.
Really?
And yeah, like just even, a lot of the urban families in America, where I was based in Chicago, it was always like these little card parties or cookouts. Um, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Somebody tried to phone me and it took out the video from me.
Oh, that's good.
But,
We good.
they would do these like little cookouts and family gatherings where you go from one aunt's house to the next aunt's house. And, it's always somebody did the cooking and somebody did the music. And often, they'd say, okay, you put the selection together. You know how to, stack the records up and put them together where it flows and stuff. So this is even before, the whole scenario of a mixer and two turntables. It was one turntable, and everybody get up and jam and stuff in between the card games and the dinners and stuff. So I think I got my first kind of experience, a taste of it, from just that the home environment. If I look back on it and think about it, and I hadn't really thought about it from that perspective, before. But it's like your actually first experience was right there with those family reunions and the block club parties, two scenarios. That's something else that they used to do a lot in America,
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was the selector.
Really, right? The selector, right. I like that. I like how you hit on the point that it was one turntable, because what a lot of people kind of forget in the DJ community, not to stay on that, but what really makes you a good DJ is you know how to rock that party, you dig? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's rocking a party with one turntable? Right.
Vibe.
Yes, despite the technical aspects, you did what I'm saying. Of course, you have to have skills and so forth, technical skills. But if you don't know the songs of when, how to play the songs, everything else doesn't matter, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. 100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people forget that. It's not just about you having these technical skills. It's how do you take one record to the next record and create an atmosphere and a vibe and take people on a musical journey?
Yes,
You know,
yes.
that's the most important thing to me. Take them on where they can visualize the whole journey of they're moving down the flow.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that, man. You know what I'm saying? I love that, Journey.
Mhm.
Speaking of that musical journey, on that journey, how did that lead to you actually singing and becoming a music artist? I mean,
Well,
what's the
growing up, I
transition
mean,
from
I was always kind of the kid in the neighborhood that was I meet different people. My first instinct, well, man, can you play some drums? You can play guitar or something, man. You can sing. And I was always there trying to put a group together or something, even with if it wasn't within the family, it was just again in the neighborhood. I'm meeting, the other youngsters of my age and stuff growing up, and I always tried to form groups and stuff, enter talent contests and all of that. I was always the initiator on that angle, and often if I felt like the people that I were around, they were distracted either by girlfriends or whatever, or they wasn't, fully there into the vibe of things, it would push me to move on and seek for something else. Because one area of me was really, inspired by the thought of what could happen, even though I didn't know where I could take it or where it would lead to. It was just the fact that at different points in life where I entertained people and I seen them feel with joy and this happiness to come from me giving them this aspect of me. I thought, okay, just keep pursuing this. Maybe it's something there, so that's instinctively been inside of me, a drive to see where it can go. And, I'm lucky it's brought me all the way over here to Europe.
Europe, huh? You over in Europe now, huh? That's what's up.
Yes, at the moment based here in Berlin, Germany.
Okay. What made
And
you want
before
to
that,
relocate? What made you want to relocate to Europe, though?
I think going back to the early first house tour with David Levy from England, and it was a lot of the artists from America was on that. Well, who was on that tour? Frankie Knuckles, me with Larry Hurd as a group, The Fingers Inc. We were on that first tour, and Ron Wilson had joined the group then, so he was on that tour. I think Kevin Irving was on there before he went to that club Nouveau, when him and
Right. All heavy
Marshall
hitters.
Jefferson. Yeah, he was on that tour, So after that, people started asking me just personally to come back over here because I
Whoa.
was
Okay.
based in London then, So at first it was just me hanging out, and then they realized I was here, and then I just started doing shows, and then people knew that I was based in London, so people in France, Paris, Marseille, a bunch of different parts over there in France. They started asking me to come over there, all over Italy, probably every city that you can think of in Italy.
Dang.
Italy became a real stronghold for me on where I'm like every month I was there doing some part
Dang.
of it. So the much love going out to the Italians,
All
that
right
they
now.
really, really was a solid following there. But all over Europe, it's been beautiful, man. I'm really, really grateful. All of the beautiful places I've seen, Switzerland, and then channeling even further to Singapore. I went to a lot. South Africa, I've been over there. Kenya, I've been there. Australia, even had the opportunity to do Sydney Opera House twice.
Yes.
So it's like I got like moments and moments that I could just go on and on about places, but it's been a beautiful journey and continuing, to constantly move forward with going to different places. But the beauty of it too is that a lot of these places I've went back to several times. So I think
Okay.
that's the really grateful thing, and it's building family wherever I go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
See,
I take you in. First
I love
instinct,
that, man.
you my family when I meet you.
Yeah, you got that vibe, man. It's like what you do is kind of like spreading love, So I guess if we're spreading that love, when they touch by that love, they gonna want you back. You make them feel good with your music and your performances and things like that. I can feel that, So I feel
Yeah,
the
and one
same right
hand
now.
washes the other. In return, they make me feel good. They encourage me to want to be better and give more.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. That's what I'm
you
talking
and
about.
everybody else out there. It's about the people.
There you go. There you go. Well, being from Chicago, I got to ask and get into this because, you know, when you came out, well, when I first became aware of you was on, I think, Donnie by the It. So, and I was actually working at Zare's department store, and they used to bang. I remember we used to close the store. I worked in the radio sites and sounds department, and we used to bang that track all the time when we were
thank you.
closing and cleaning up. You know what I'm saying, over the loudspeaker. So, I just want to know how did the whole It project and Fingers Incorporated come about, because that's when I and the world first became aware of Mr. Robert Owens, the singer. You know what I'm saying? So how did that all, you know, materialize?
Well, actually, I was with Fingers Inc. first, and I didn't even realize that Larry Heard had any involvement with the It at the time. You know, but I was with Fingers Inc. and I had did some of the earlier tracks. Vocals with Can You Feel It, Mystery of Love, and different tracks with Larry Heard. So Harold Dennis came to my house because I was like a DJ in Chicago on the circuit then, doing little pubs and universities and different places. And people knew me from that angle. And he was a fan of mine. And he just brought me a series of tracks. And he was like, man, I'm going in the studio to record my first track. And he was like, which one do you think it should be? And I picked the Donnie music.
Nice.
You know, so he was like, well, he was a little nervous about going in and everything. So he asked me would I come in with him. So I came to the studio, and I'm in the booth. He asked me to come in the booth with him to work him through some parts and stuff. He's really nervous and stuff. So I'm in the booth and I'm like picking little things out to say, well, what about like, let's start with something like the don, 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 don. And then you do a rap, and then I'll say something in between. I can't quite understand. And then,
right.
Then every time I would say a different part or something, Chip E was like, yeah, wait, let's record that in. And I was like, well, y'all know I ain't supposed to be on this track now.
Oh, wow. They stole you, man. They stole you, man.
But like, I ended up doing all of these parts and helping him through the arrangement and singing parts with him. And then Ron Hardy heard it and did his mix. And I think Ron Hardy's mix is what kicked it off and made it really exposed it to all of the circuit in Chicago, where people just loved it. And then it channeled over to New Jersey and with Tony Humphries, and to New York with Larry Levan. And it just kicked off because after that, they started asking us to come over and perform. And so at times, even I remember like being at the Paradise Garage, and I go on stage first with Fingers Inc., and then next I go on stage with the It.
At the same night on the same stage. Right. That's crazy.
It wasn't the intention of me actually even being on the track. I was just initially there to help him work him through it and give him.
Oh, wow. He couldn't resist. I got Robert in this booth with me. He gonna be on this joint whether I like it or not, Harry. But man, Harry, that's what's up, though, man. That's crazy. But you were in Fingers Inc. at the same time. So how Fingers Inc.
But then later I found out that Larry was involved somehow in the music to that, but I didn't realize that at
You
first.
didn't know that, huh?
They never said nothing. They never said nothing at first. You know, I'm just like, okay. Or maybe I was just so overwhelmed at the time with everything that it just went over my head. But initially, I did not realize it was any relationship between the two at the time. You know, I just knew because of the first scenario of just being in the studio with Harold Dennis and Chip E. It was just us three.
It was just y'all two at first.
Yeah, that was just us in there. You know,
so a lot was happening at that time. I mean, house, even though the club scene was bubbling, you know, it was out for a while, but as far as the word house being a genre and being accepted by the youth, you know, and the young adults and so forth, that was so new. There were like a couple of labels, mainly only tracks, and these are international, that were just putting, we know the story, putting people on, you know what I'm saying, putting these records out and so forth. So, I mean, during that time, did you feel like you were part of something that was going to be special, or you was just going with the energy, just going with the flow, just working? I mean, did you get that feeling that you were part of something great about to explode?
just more like going with the flow of things. I had no idea that what was going on, what was going to happen within the whole industry of the house thing. We was just like kids in a candy store almost.
Yeah.
Like going with the flow of it, and again, I was like on the circuit as one of the DJs and hanging around like your Ron Hardy and Frankie Knuckles. So, and people knew me as, back then, it was one big family. And people kind of house hopped. You could be, somebody might be at Frankie's for a little while, then over to Ron's, and then they over to mine, and back. What is he doing? What are he over there playing? And so,
that's the real family. Then that's the real family right there. Yeah. It's funny how you said Harold was a fan of yours as a DJ before you even started doing music. So that's before you started recording, before you were in, the whole thing exploded. So that's what's funny. I didn't even realize that you were really known on the scene as a DJ. Even though I did have a mixtape of yours, which blew my mind a few years later after I knew you as an artist. A young lady I knew let me dub a mixtape that she had of yours, and I was like, how was all this underground finger shit on here? Because there was some Fingers Inc. stuff that I hadn't even heard that wasn't even out. But she said, well, that's a Robert Owens mix. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay then, okay. You know what I mean? That's what's up. That's what's up. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, even with Larry, like going over Larry's house, he would record. He was just like a musical genius with record. And again, I was the one that was in the circuit and sing. So I would hear something that he might be ready to erase. And I'd be like, no, give me that. Don't erase that. And that's where I think it really worked well with us.
Interesting.
I would just go over to his house and he'd play different little loops of music. And I'd be like, oh, wait, man, I got some words to go with that. And that's always been our relationship, and the way a lot of those tracks came out and ended up with vocals, me being the selector of like, okay, yeah, this will work with this and that'll work. Or else he would have just erased something and create.
Right. He was about to erase some hot stuff. He was like, You know what I'm saying? That's some shit right now. He did. Now, dig this. So what happened with Fingers? I know y'all, they only recorded, as a group, only recorded one album. And then after that, I know you were a solo artist with songs like I'll Be Your Friend and things like that. But what happened with Fingers as the group itself? You know what I mean?
Well, it was Larry at first. Initially, they wanted to go solo. He had got this deal with MCA and decided he wanted to do it solo. And I was like, cool, man, I understand. You want to do it? And he was like, well, would you still do a couple tracks on the album? I was like, okay.
He couldn't let you go. Dig. I got it. Okay, that's what's up, like, man.
Cool. I'll still do a couple tracks on your album. But since the group had broke up, Frankie Knuckles and them knew about that, and they asked me to come to New York. Well, that's when they first asked me. He came to Chicago and he played me Tears, the instrumental. Asked me would I write a song for that, and so I listened to it. And he went back to New York, and I went back home. And that night, I just wrote those words out, and then I let my mother and father see the words and said, "What y'all think?" And they was like, "Yeah, that's cool." And then I called him the next day and asked him. Recited what I had written over the phone, and he was like, "We flying you in." And I think the day after they flew me in, and then I recorded the next day. So it just went really quick and fast. And then after that, they was like, "Oh, you got to move here." And so I'm like, "Okay, well, I wasn't doing that much in Chicago at that time." So I was like, "Okay, I'll take a chance." And I moved there, and I stayed there for about maybe 4 or 5 years, and that's when. The Fourth and Broadway album got recorded after the Tears because they was really excited and thought, okay, this is some potential here. We can take this somewhere. And then I'll Be Your Friend came in, and then just started doing clubs all over the place again throughout New York. And then that channeled to me moving to England because who was it came in? I can't remember exactly who came in at that time. Freetown Records came in at that time, and they asked me about being A&R for that company. And so I came there and just more or less, I formed an in-house band, in-house studios, selection of engineers and musicians. I started doing showcases, formed a choir, and it was like just overwhelming the opportunities.
Whoa, that's heavy, man, really?
Yeah, yeah. And then again, being based there in London, this is when France, Italy, Germany, a lot of different countries, they found out that I was there. And so almost every weekend between recording with these different artists. And I went to showcases and hand selected and picked a lot of these musicians and artists and stuff for that company. So it was so much going on. I didn't have a chance to actually look back on what had
Yeah.
happened in America, any downfalls or anything I felt negative. It would just sent me straight into a new state of mind. And
Yeah.
I've been here for years, and it's
Mhm.
like, so this journey is so much that's happened, this
That's beautiful,
really.
man. So Tears was like kind of like put you in that whole new stratosphere of your career,
Mhm.
starting with
Yeah,
Tears.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, guess what, y'all? My man Robert has a new joint out right now. It's on
Yeah.
rotation on my mix shows. Let me do that plug real quick on LWR Radio's TP's House Mix Show and also on my TP Sizzle's Mix Show on Chicago Sizzle Radio. It's in hot rotation on that, and not just that. I've been seeing it charting everywhere. Be Ready is the name of the single on Wake Up Music Group. Talk to me about Be Ready. Talk to me about that, my brother.
Be ready,
There.
Pepper. Yeah, the whole crew over there at Wake Up is beautiful family. It's
Yes.
just when I first had an internet just email conversation with her, I felt an instant love, an instant kindred spirit about her, and it's like it's just there in a solid place in my heart. You think about her and I smile, and I'm so
Okay, who is
grateful.
her? I don't think we mentioned her name. Who is her? Pepper.
Pepper.
Yeah, Pepper Gomez for them to know. Yeah, Pepper
Pepper.
Gomez of Wake Up Music Group. Okay, dig it, dig it. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. It's been just an instant love, and the words were inspired just by email conversations with her. She triggered my thoughts to write those words and words of "I'm Awake," which is the next single. And
Okay.
it was all triggered. I just think, it's something really beautiful about her and what she's doing with these other younger artists and stuff in the industry, and just her old drive, the way she's, really pushed and like in just interviews and trying to connect me, within into the industry on the American side of things. I think it's really beautiful, and I'm grateful, very, very grateful for her and the track and Eric Cupper and Rude, everybody involved in the project. It's just a feeling of love.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So that's interesting. So I didn't know those words, those lyrics were inspired by actually your relationship with her as far as conversations and stuff. But
Mm.
she is a very great motivator, man. She's a motivator and very inspirational. So I can feel you on that. I definitely can feel you on that, man.
It's
Man.
beautiful.
Yes, yes, that's what's up, man. So I ain't gonna hold you too long because I know that you are creating some magic as we
Yeah,
speak.
I'm here in the studio. I just stepped out to
Yeah,
take this
man.
a
That
break here to do
I
this for
feel
you.
very
I'm
grateful for that,
grateful,
man.
man.
Yes, yes. But before I let you go, anything you wanted to messages you wanted to relay or just something you want to get off your chest before I let you go, and also your contact info for social media and elsewhere. You dig?
This is Robert Owens on Instagram. You can catch me there all the time. I'm always on there speaking to people. And I'm coming to America soon in May. So I'm looking forward to seeing as many people as possible that can make it to any of the shows.
Y'all connect, man. I'm there. I'm there. You dig?
I started in Montreal actually with Fred Everything. We're doing a gig, and then I go to LA with the
Okay.
Incognito crew, and then to San Francisco with a club called Rhonda, then Chicago at the Smart Bar, then New York, the House of Yes. So I think if things kick off around maybe the 2nd or 3rd of May, and then I'll be over in the States all maybe 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4 the whole month, maybe.
Oh, wow. Heavy.
They talks about me doing some other shows and stuff too. A lot of the family there, the musical family guys, have been reaching out, and I'm like, okay, man, let's see what we can do and stuff.
Oh yeah, you got work, man. They will not stop putting you to work, man. Everybody needs that golden voice, man. Everybody loves that golden voice, on them tracks. You know what I'm saying? That voice is like the seal of approval. That's all that is. That's the seal of approval.
Thank you. So you're looking forward to coming and hanging out with everybody.
That's what's up, man.
And yeah, giving as much as I can, man, because that's what it's all about, giving.
Amen.
It's been given to me to give back to others.
Just reciprocal. That's life, man. If you want something good, you got to give. And give out of your heart. You're not giving just because. You know what I'm saying? You do it out of your heart. And that's how the universe blesses, man. Well, Brother Roberts, I'm going to let you get back to creating your magic. Thank you once again. Shout out to the engineer for helping us get this technical thing and letting you sneak off a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mr.
Okay.
Jamie, he's been a blessing here.
Yes, sir. Well, kick ass. I know it's some hot you're working on. Look forward to seeing you here in your new project and seeing you in the States. Peace, love, and blessings, my brother.
All right. Peace, love, and blessings to you and all the family over there as well, man.
Thank you, my brother. Have a good one. All right.
All right.
Funk Zone, y'all. Share and subscribe and love Robert Owens. All right. Peace and love. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.